buy-in? Is there a manual or how to?
It's a relationship. So first I say you have to connect.
Right.
Leaders have to connect with their subordinates or their team. They've got to inspire them and they've got to motivate them. And there's some, going back to the business, and this is not a plug for the business at all, but there's 4 pillars. I call it the leadership domain. And we need to treat the leadership domain like we do the air domain, the space domain, the cyber domain. We have to train and deliberately develop people. You just finished a 9-month course, which is now a 6-month course, to know how to do your job technically.
Right.
You're going to go to your next unit. You're going to have requirements to go fly a few times a month.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you the requirements for leadership. There are none. Time. Sit and watch your boss. Go to some courses every now and then, every 4 or 5 years in the Air Force. Some people go.
Right.
And those courses may not exactly talk about how to lead, but that's how we take care of leadership. That's how we develop leaders in the Air Force. There's not a deliberate development process. So I'll go back to when people are focused on doing their job and feel like they're trained to do their job and feel like you care, then you start to make that connection. So the first one is you have to develop trust. If you don't trust, if they don't trust you, then it's not going to work. It's like any other relationship. I often say, and most relationships aren't really relationships until after the first 6 months and you have your first big fight. The reason before that, fights are they're nice, they're polite. But after 6 months, you start to get a little more comfortable and start telling people how you really feel. It's the same thing with leadership and fellowship connection. You have to build that trust, and you have to put in the time.
Right.
So developing that trust, you need to realize we don't do a very good job of connecting followership skills and leadership skills.
Right.
If I say to you on your performance report, man, Rusty's a good follower, that's not a good report, right? That's not a good stratification. But we have to connect the skills we're developing as followers to leadership skills. They're interchangeable. I mean, you're going to follow more than you're going to lead in the Air Force, frankly, or any other job, I think. We got to make sure that we give healthy feedback. And healthy feedback means direct feedback, but also means being considerate, being loving, but being direct. We owe that to folks. And then lastly is investing in your future, building the leadership bench. If I don't take the time to teach you how to lead or develop you as a leader, if I'm your leader, then I'm not putting the unit, the organization, the Air Force in a good position. So that connection, and then again, the most important factor is time, because you have to build that relationship. None of those happen overnight.
Man, so sir, you are.
I get passionate. Sorry.
No, you are dropping jewels. One thing, I have a tendency to jump all around, and I like to go